All right. Hello, everybody. Chad Hauer here with the Hauer Home Team. I hope you are doing well. I wanted to give you an update as to what's going on in the Pierce County real estate market right now. So, what I'd like to go over is what I refer to as absorption-based pricing index, which is really just a fancy way of saying supply and demand. Really looking at that. So, to give you some context to this, 1 to 4 months worth of inventory, or 0 to 4 months worth of inventory, I should say, represents a seller's market. And that's where we see values are on the rise. Whereas with 5 to 6 months worth of inventory, that's more kind of a stable market, and we see values just kind of go along with inflation. That's kind of a normal market. And then if it's 7 months or more worth of homes on the market, that's where we see it's considered a buyer's market, and we see declining home values. So where are we at right now in Pierce County? Let's dive into it. So this is really looking at last year. We're going to take a snapshot of last year, this 6 month window from December of 2017 to May of 2018, what took place there. And then we're going to fast forward into, okay, now what happened in the most recent 6 months so we can compare the two, and then what's actively available right now. So if we start with last year, 4,918 homes sold in Pierce County during that 6 month window. The average size of those homes was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a little over 1,800 square feet. The original list price that those came on at was, let's call it 320,000, and they sold for 320,000. So they were selling at 100% of the asking price. And time frame wise, it took 13 days on the market before an acceptable offer came through. So really quick market for sure, selling within 13 days. The lowest sale we saw in Pierce County during that window last year was 31,000. The highest sale was all the way up at 3 million. So let's compare that to the most recent 6 months here this year. So this year, we can see that 4,160 homes sold, which you can see is less homes, significantly less homes than the year before. What I'll tell you though is it's not because there's less demand for the homes, it's because there's less homes on the market in general. So there's less inventory for people to be buying. Median size of those homes was very similar, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,800 square feet. Originally listed for 349,250, and then reducing their price to 340,000, and then finally selling for more than that at let's call it 345,000. So on average, homes over the last 6 months in Pierce County have sold for 101% of their asking price once they got to the right price on the market. Time frame wise, we're still within that 2 week window. So it took 14 days on the market before the average home received an acceptable offer here. So hasn't changed much. It was 13 days last year, 14 days this year. So when we compare the median sold price of last year in Pierce County of this 320 to the median sold price this year of 344, we've seen a 7% increase in home values. So that's actually really, really promising to see. And the reason I say that is because that's more of a sustainable number, whereas when we've been seeing these double-digit appreciation rates, that's where things get crazy and it gets into a bubble, and you hear a lot of talk about, oh, it's going to be a big crash. We've actually been seeing a slowdown in our appreciation rate. So that's more sustainable. Historically, if we go all the way back to World War II, real estate's appreciated about 5% per year. So this last year we saw 7%. Really good thing to see, healthy for our market. The lowest sale we saw was 30,000. The highest sale jumped up to 3.5 million. So that's kind of looking through the rearview mirror, if you will, of what's taken place in the past. And now what I like to do is, okay, let's look through the windshield. What exactly is available for us in Pierce County now for active homes? There's currently 1,053 homes for sale. Average size of those homes, this is really interesting. It's a bigger home on average, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2,400 square feet. Originally listing for way more, 498,000, and reducing their price to 495, let's call it. And they've been on the market for 26 days and counting. So we're seeing that more and more. There's a story here, and what I want you to recognize here is this huge discrepancy between the median sold price, about 345, versus what people are asking right now, 495. So I always like to say it's what I consider to be a tale of two markets. There's the homes that are on the market that are just sitting and racking up days, and then there's the homes that are actually in the market that are actually selling. So right now, since we've been in such a a great seller's market for a while, it's easy for sellers to get jaded by that and think they can ask the moon and get it, where in reality we're seeing that separation is getting wider and wider. So I hope that's helpful information. When we look at the absorption rate, it comes down to 1.5 months of supply. So it's still very much so a seller's market. To give some context to that again, 1.5 months of inventory, we're still on the very low inventory in a seller's market. But be mindful that you can't ask the moon and expect to get it, because the evidence is there that there's a big gap between what homes are actually selling for versus what people are originally asking. So I hope that's helpful. If we can help you make a more informed decision, if you're interested in selling your home and would like to know stats to make sure that you're positioning yourself appropriately to net the most amount of money, that's what we're here for. We work in communities all across Pierce County, as well as Mason County, Kitsap County as well. So thanks for your time, and please do share this with a friend. So much.